This is breaking news.
We do begin with that breaking news at 5 tonight. A major decision on whether the city of Portland will see federal troops on its streets. The Ninth Circuit Court says National Guard troops can remain federalized but not deployed in Portland. The court just granted an administrative stay on a temporary restraining order, or TRO. There's a full hearing tomorrow on that restraining order. Katu is on your side tonight, breaking down exactly what this means. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. The decision is just the latest in a long list of new developments unfolding over the past few hours. Here's what else happened today. President Trump once again signaling out Portland during a roundtable discussion with cabinet members and conservative influencers on Antifa. We're also learning about some changes to the way Portland Police responds to the ICE facility. This is following yesterday's visit by DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. K2's on your side with live team coverage. Christina Giardinelli is live outside the ICE facility with more on PPB strategy. And Vasily Varlamos is standing by with what was said at the roundtable.
We begin with K2 Shelby Slaughter now on that TRO ruling. She's live at the federal courthouse downtown. Shelby, right now, nothing changes, right?
Yeah, Stephen, I do just want to note here, this is confusing to understand. I did call Dan Rayfield's office earlier to get some clarity after this ruling went down, or came down. Here's what you need to know. Now, this stay is in response to the first temporary restraining order granted by a federal judge on Saturday. That order defederalized Oregon National Guard troops and blocked them from deploying in Portland. This order keeps those troops in federal status, but continues to block them from deploying. A second temporary restraining order was also granted Sunday from the Trump administration when they sent California and Texas National Guard troops to Oregon. It does not appear the Trump administration filed an appeal in that case, and a hearing on that appeal is set for tomorrow morning at 9. I did reach out to Dan Rayfield's office for an interview, but I was told he was booked for the day. Reporting in downtown Portland, I'm Shelby Slaughter, K2 News.
I was in Portland yesterday and had the chance to visit with the governor of Oregon and also the mayor. They're in town, and they are absolutely covering up the terrorism that is hitting their streets.
Continuing our team coverage now, tonight DHS Secretary Kristi Noem claims state and city leaders are covering up terrorism. This comes after her visit to Portland yesterday. Her new comments made just hours ago at a roundtable on Antifa, featuring Trump administration officials and conservative influencers. Now, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the federal government will deploy the full might of the feds to crack down on Antifa and other domestic terrorist organizations.
K2's Vasily Varlamos joins us from the live desk. So, Vasily, what else was said at that roundtable?
Deb, those who spoke at the roundtable reiterated claims that protesters outside the ICE facility are part of an orchestrated terrorist group called Antifa. Nick Sorter, who was arrested outside the ICE facility last week but did not end up being charged, criticized Portland police, city and state officials, saying Portland politicians are, quote, willing to sacrifice their own citizens to appease these Antifa terrorists, end quote. Another influencer, Katie Davis Court, said residents across from the ICE facility are, quote, being held hostage, unquote, by the organization. President Trump designated Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization on September 25th. Today, he repeated claims that ICE agents and the building are under attack by Antifa. K2 asked those protesting outside the facility what they're doing and if they're affiliated with the group.
Part of an organized group called Antifa?
Absolutely not. There is no such thing. I don't know why people are not understanding that. It is completely ridiculous. It just stands for anti-fascist.
That's... Think that any of the people who are here are part of Antifa or organized terrorist groups?
Not that I've seen. I met a priest or a priestess. She's for the Lutheran Church, and she says she's out here and making sure that it's peaceful.
After Noem made her comments, I asked both the mayor and the governor to respond to Noem's statements. Mayor Wilson did not answer my question directly, sending yesterday's statement from the mayor, which reads in part, what Secretary Noem saw today in Portland matches our reports. Portland continues to manage public safety professionally and responsibly, irrespective of claims made from out-of-state social media influencers. We reached out to Governor Kotek early directly following Noem's comments and have yet to hear back. At the live desk, Vasily Varlamov, K2 News.
Vasily, thank you. Well, today the White House released a scathing press release about the state of Portland.
It claims for years an Antifa-led hellfire has turned Portland into a wasteland of firebombs, beating, and brazen attacks on federal officers and property. The release pulled quotes taken from interviews in various news outlets. That includes a woman who lives near the ICE facility. Published in a BBC article yesterday, quote, "It's like a war zone. There are times I've had to have a gas mask on inside my own home." And this quote from a business owner in Northeast Portland on Fox News this week, quote, "We struggle every day, every week with the crime and the drugs and just the unsafeness that comes with being here in our city right now. It's like our leaders have abandoned public safety for us." And continuing our team coverage now.
K2's Christina Giardinelli is live outside the ICE facility. Christina, what does it look like right now?
Deb, the situation got a lot more lively here just in the last few minutes. The caution tape that I showed you when I came on here at 4 p.m. is completely gone. I'll step aside now so you can see a small group of protesters here right outside of ICE. The man over there in the blue shirt is actually a counter-protester who has been yelling some things at this group of protesters. If you go over there to the middle of the street, you can see the Portland Police Bureau bike squad over there holding a presence with at least 5 to 6 officers crossing the street now over here. Some media outlets as well as more police presence over there. This is quite a big police presence. Even now that the tape has been removed, we still see a large police presence. My goal today was to find out why that caution tape was held so long here, even after DHS Secretary Noem left, and then why there's such a large police presence here now. During a visit to Portland Tuesday, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem visiting with Portland Mayor Keith Wilson.
I'm so extremely disappointed. He's continuing to play politics.
In an interview with Fox News about the meeting, she threatened to use more force in the city.
If he did not follow through on some of these security measures for our officers, we were going to cover him up with more federal resources.
The security measures Noem mentioned are detailed in this letter sent by the U.S. Attorney for Oregon to Police Chief Bob Day. It asks for a number of things, including a perimeter surrounding the ICE facility. A perimeter was put in place Tuesday for Noem's visit, which the city told us was standard procedure for any visiting dignitary. With Noem gone on Wednesday afternoon, that perimeter was still up, accompanied by a police presence. I asked the agency for an interview this morning. They declined, but did not say why. So I followed up with this list of questions. Why is the one-block perimeter around ICE still closed off? How long will it stay up? It appears PPB has increased its patrols around ICE quite significantly. Why is that? How much bearing do Noem's threats have on that? Did your bureau strike a deal with Noem on support and policing outside ICE? If so, what does that look like? Conservative live streamers have claimed you're working with Antifa. Are you? Trump has called protesters here Antifa terrorists. Are you investigating any organized terrorist groups here? In response to the first question, the agency told us there was no exact time, but, quote, tape should be coming down soon. PPB did not answer the remaining questions, saying it, quote, did not want to get into a back and forth with the White House, and that the chief appreciated meeting with Secretary Noem during her visit. Now, in response to that, the agency did point us to 3 different media availabilities it's held over the last couple of weeks, although those media availabilities did not address today's recent developments and my list of questions. I will keep working to try and get those answers. For now, live in South Portland, Christina Giardinelli, K2 News.
All right, Christina, thank you for that. Nightly protests outside the ICE facility have been going on since June, and tonight we're getting a better idea of how many people Portland police and the feds have arrested down there. As of their latest update, police say they arrested 3 people near the ICE facility yesterday. That brings their total to 40 since early June. FBI Portland says there have been 0 arrests and 0 citations in the past 24 hours, but 179 total arrests since June.
New tonight, PPB says one of their arrests last night included a suspect who allegedly swam across the Willamette River to escape officers. Happened after a disturbance near South Bancroft Street and Bond Avenue. Officers say they saw somebody running toward the river. When they approached him, they say he swam to Ross Island. Portland Fire and Rescue boat took them to the island where they arrested 36-year-old Nathan Khalil. And as we've reported, the situation in Portland has caught the attention of our neighbors in Seattle.
Yeah, today the city's mayor signed 2 executive orders he says will keep residents safe in case of a federal deployment. To be clear, the mayor says he's not aware of an imminent deployment but wants to be ready. The first order evaluates all legal options and lays out how the city will coordinate if troops arrive. Also ensures police know what they should and should not do. The second order bans the use of face masks by law enforcement, including ICE agents, making Seattle one of the first cities to do that.
President Trump is unilaterally ramping up his military occupation of American cities. And here we stand firmly against the militarization of our communities, the militarization here in Seattle.
That order also requires all law enforcement badges to be visible.
It's been more than a week since President Trump announced a deployment of the Oregon National Guard in Portland, and they've yet to arrive as it plays out in the courts. But the order has sparked more protests outside the ICE facility, especially at night. And as you've just heard, again from our reporters, there's been conflicting narratives about what's actually happening. That's why Katu tonight is starting a 24-hour live stream outside ICE to let you, viewers like yourself, see what's going on. You can scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you to the K2 YouTube page. The live stream begins at midnight.